They didn't look too bad. They just bumped a little.
Alrighty.
One in the blue car.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Full Send Half Mast podcast, episode 157. Tonight, we're watching a little bit of Chili Bowl action. We're going through some C mains right now. We had a little bit of upsets. If you guys joined last night for A main Monday prelim night, we had a good time there watching those races. Kyle Larson takes prelim night win number one. We have a little bit of upsets here, Tom. Like Michael Pickens, probably one of the favorites in the bowl. He ends up getting eliminated here in the D main. Unbelievable. Then we have Jonathan Beason coming from a D. Brennan Crouch, your runner-up last year, coming from a B or from a D. I mean, this is wild. But we'll be watching that a little bit while we're going over the podcast tonight. Tonight, it's gonna be an awesome podcast. We're gonna do a recap of the new NASCAR point system. We got it. It's officially here. We'll talk about it. Our likes or dislikes with that. We'll break it down with you guys here tonight. Also, tonight we're going to make our official picks for the 2026 Chili Bowl Nationals. Who is going to be the winner? Here first. And then also tonight, the IMSA season. We are less than, 12 days away from the Rolex 24, Tom? So we're going to break down the IMSA season preview with you guys here tonight. Should be a fun podcast. First off, we got Tom here in the Discord. We're going to hang out and talk about racing. How are you doing, Tom?
I'm great. Here. At least we got a little bit of racing going on, you know?
Yeah, and I can sense the sarcasm coming from that one. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a big car just tumble. Holy shit. If you guys aren't watching Chili Bowl, what does that put the flip count up to, like 19 now? This dude just ate some catch fence. Never better than some C main action on a prelim night. Oh man, hopefully he's okay. It looks like, yeah, he's out of the car. He's done. He says, my Chili Bowl's over. Screw it, I'm going home. Oh man. Alrighty, I guess first thing we should start off with here tonight, Tom, as they roll his car back over. The NASCAR point system. The chase for the cup is back. No more playoffs. Thank the Lord. Thank all God. No more playoffs. It's the chase for the cup. 16 drivers, which again, I think that's way too much. And the reason I say it's too much with this type of point system, Tom, is when we get to the end of the season, when we get to races 23 through 26, we're going to have that ramp up towards the chase, right? Like who's in, who's out. Now, instead of the discussion with 16 drivers, we're going to be talking about guys that are positioned 15 through 18 in points to get into the chase, instead of the conversation being around like 8 through like 12 if it was 10 or 12 drivers. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it just dilutes the product on track. I don't know. Do you feel that way with it going to 16? Do you think we should have shrunk it down?
I'll just tell you my first thought, okay? Boy, is it pretty funny that Trackhouse hired a road course ringer just to get screwed over, man. I mean, thank God. You know what? I can work with this chase because I actually really enjoyed that in the early 2010s. I thought that was pretty cool. Way better than the win and you're in sort of deal. But I just thought that was kind of funny. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, see, I agree too. I think that's hilarious. Well, my thing, I was telling my dad this because we were talking about this the other day. I think they should have went top 10 and then had like, remember what was it? The 2010 to like 2013, they had the wild cards or whatever, and they added like two extra guys to the chase every year just randomly. I think they could have kept like the win in your in system, like not for in terms of like getting into the championship, but what they could have done was, hey, let's take the top 10 in points at the end of the season, and then let's put two wild cards in, and your two wild cards could be anybody. Like say SVG 14th or 16th in points at the end of the regular season, but he's got 5 wins on road courses. Give him a wild card spot. Let him race as a wild card. Or like somebody that's finishes 11th in points and they have like 9 wins, you know, because they were inconsistent, but they won 9 times. Let them have a wild card spot, you know? I like the reset. I like that we're not going to reset again. No more eliminate. Well, we'll have eliminations. Natural elimination, which is the best part about this. But I still think we're still diluted with how many drivers are making the chase. I feel like it's going to take away from the product. I mean, your first 4 weeks are going to be fluff, where we're just going to naturally eliminate those guys at the bottom that start with no points anyway. And it's just going to, every week we're going to have a new guy mathematically get eliminated, it feels like. more points for winners, which I agree with. I think that awarding, what was it, 40 points for a win, now you're going to get 55. We keep stage racing, which I think is okay. My thought process on that was, why not just run, if you want to give stage points the right way, you run the first stage at 10% length of the race so you can reward people for qualifying well, and then you take the last 90% of the race, you split it in half and run 45%, 45%. You know what I mean? And then you have somebody that's run good at halfway, and then you reward the guys for qualifying good, you reward the guys for the halfway distance, and then you reward the end of the race. But then get rid of the caution, obviously.
I still want to see strategy though, because I feel like if you do 10, 45, 45, is that what you said?
Yeah.
That you'll just run the same strategy in the second segment as the third segment.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. That makes sense.
If you did something like 10, 30, 60.
Yeah, I mean, that would work.
Or a 10, maybe even 10, 40, 50 might work. But a 10, 30, 10, 30, 60 would be pretty cool, because look, well, first off, let me just say this. Let's take the wins where we can, okay? We win with the chase.
Right.
All right.
We did win.
We still lose. Yeah. We still lose with the stage racing. I hate stage racing. It makes the racing so predictable. I hate it. But you can still manipulate the stages into something that could be good. 10, 30, 60. On that 60 part, I mean, basically, well, even with the 3 segments, if you're wanting to consider it 3 different races, a 10% race is going to be played a heck of a lot differently than a 30% race, which is a heck of a lot differently than a 60% race. So you could even, dang, I'm kind of talking myself into stage racing here.
No, I mean, if the way that we're talking about it, it makes it actually entertaining, especially if you take away the caution. If you ran at the 10% point of this race, we're going to give you points, which rewards qualifying, which I feel like should be rewarded because it's hard to qualify in the Cup Series anyway. And then you have a 30, like you're saying, which I think is actually perfect, because then that's like half of what the final distance is going to be. So you would have like the opportunity at, like, say, I'm just trying to think of tracks this would work out, like a Pocono, right? If you ran a 30% distance at Pocono, you would have to stop once for fuel. The second stage, you could do a 2 or a 3 stop potentially, like a Pocono. So, like, I feel like certain tracks would work better than others. Daytona, obviously, I think it would work. I think you'd have to stop once in a 30%, and then you would have to stop twice, 3 times in a 60%.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking myself into liking stage racing.
Well, the way we designed it, it would be good. Like, we kind of took away the bad part of stage racing by the way we kind of redesigned it right there.
Yeah, you know what? Anybody can have a wet dream, all right?
Oh, man. They should have, I mean, good thing that Mark Martin on the panel, but damn, they should have had us up in that panel. I swear to God, dude. If it was up to me, dude, we're running your idea, no stage cautions. We're running 10, 30, 60 races. We're running 10 driver, top 10 in points in the chase. 2 wild cards go to whoever has the most wins that are outside of the top 10. And then we're going to run a championship. No point resets. Like I feel like that would have been perfect. But this is the best compromise we're going to get. Stage race is not going to go away. The way that the TV and everything works, and how they market and get their ads in, they're never going to get rid of it. So the way I look at it, let's just reconstruct it. I think we're on the right track here. Do you see Logano with the cope, the coping mechanism? Everybody's calling him out. I saw some video where this guy was raging, dude, when he was like getting interviewed. It was like a reaction video to him. I should have posted on the Discord. And it was hilarious, bro. This dude was losing his mind.
Have you seen the bald Joey Logano yet?
Dude, I feel like it's like Walter White. It's like the story arc, dude.
He's gonna come out. I'm saying.
He's gonna come out like an absolute maniac, dude. Heisenberg.
That's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, this dude's gonna be. He's gonna be that one guy in IndyCar who was smuggling meth across the border to Canada.
Yeah, just that was a good documentary.
His name. LaJoy.
Yeah. That was a great freaking documentary, dude. That was a great documentary. Yeah. No, exactly, bro. He is gonna be the villain arc, bro. Like, of the next. Like, honestly, let's put it realism. He's gonna make the 16 driver chase. But will he ever win another championship under this format? I have zero confidence in that, dude. Zero confidence.
Not at the current state of Penske, man.
No.
It's rough there.
I think who this championship benefits the most is going to be a Larson, a Byron,
Bell.
a Bell. That's it. I mean, that's your 3 championship favorites going into next year right there with this type of system. Who else is going to be consistent enough? Elliott's been consistent, but he doesn't win enough. And now winning is going to mean more than it has in the past, even without the win in you're in, because now you get those bonus points. Like, what is it? I think I saw somebody, the max points you can get in a cup race now is 76 because you win the race 55, 10 for each stage. So that puts you at 75 plus the fastest lap points. So it's gonna be interesting to see who can hit a 76.
That is a massive point swing.
Exactly. And then last place gets 1. If you wreck on lap 1, you're getting 1 point. That's a 75-point swing if you max point.
Holy cow, that is massive.
It's gonna make an interesting, like, these guys, all these people that love the Atlantas and Daytonas and stuff. I feel like they're gonna start hating them now because their favorite driver is gonna wreck out at the first stage, and they're gonna make no points, and they're gonna watch somebody that's 18th in points somehow win the damn thing, win a stage. They're going to make a huge point swing in a single day. I mean, it's going to create for some interesting intrigue. And I think where we're going to see it the most is there, and then also on road courses as well, because now instead of racing for the win with the stages, now you're going to have to actually race for stage points in these road courses. That's going to change the strategies completely. I don't think you can do what you used to be able to do, sell out for the win because of the win and you're in. Now you're going to have to actually race for the stage points. So I don't know how road courses are going to play out, but it might be interesting. Who knows?
Yeah.
But that's the new playoff format. That video that I made like 2 years ago explaining it, that whole video, I still get comments and replies on that all the time. That's absolutely invalid now.
Yeah.
Oh, and it looks like Jonathan Beeson's terrible chili bowl continues. It looks like he just got ran into somebody. He's trying to get out of a C main. Oh, that's rough. That's rough, dude. Alrighty. I guess we're talking about Chili Bowl. Should we make our are you ready to make Chili Bowl picks? You want to save that to the end and do the IMSA preview first? We can do IMSA preview first, and then we can
let's do that first.
End. All right. 2026 IMSA season. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna go through GTP, GTD Pro, GTD, and also LMP2. Let's start off with the schedule. Obviously the Crown Jewel events, the Rolex 24, the Sebring 12 hour to kick off the season. And then you have, at the end of the season, your other 2 Crown Jewels with Indy on the Battle at the Bricks and Motul Petit Le Mans. Sports car racing is currently in a great state. I think Motul Petit Le Mans had a sellout for the first time ever. Sports car racing is completely on the rise. We saw incredible racing all year long. We're mixing in with those street courses. We got Detroit coming back, which I think Detroit has become an instant classic on the IMSA calendar. The last few years has been pure cinema at Detroit. Long Beach with the doubleheader with IndyCar has also been an amazing race for the series. And then also Watkins Glen coming back with the 6-hour race there. Road America, which is one of my favorite tracks as well. VIR for the Super GT3 weekend there. Mosport, the LMP2 kind of premier event of the year, as they're the premier prototypes on track. And then obviously Laguna Seca, which is always a fun track as well. So the schedule stays the same as it's been the last few years. But obviously bookending it with your Crown Jewels in the first 2 and the final 2 races should be interesting. We're 2 weeks away from Rolex, so we won't make any Rolex picks now. But when it comes to GTP, Tom, BMW making changes. The WRT team, the World Endurance team, has taken over the BMW license, or they're taking over the primary manufacturer support for BMW this year, as RL is stepping down to GTD Pro with McLaren this year. What do we expect from BMW this year now that they've got a new change in leadership? They've got really fast cars. They're going to be all of the GTP programs this year have all basically are running the same cars that they did last year, except for except for like Cadillac. They made some major downforce adjustments. So Cadillac, I feel like coming off the beginning of the season, they're going to have a little bit of a downside in performance. They've done a lot of reducing in the downforce to try to be able to be faster on some of these street courses where they got eaten alive last year. They were fast on the bigger tracks like Daytona and Watkins Glen, Road America, etc. But when it came to like the street courses or like even a Laguna Seca, they really struggled. But BMW set to be that consistent team all year long where they were fast on all sorts of tracks, but they just could never touch that of Porsche? Do we see BMW with WRT? Do we see them take that step forward to be able to contend with Cadillac and Porsche here in 2026? Oh, wait 1 second. I think my headset just turned off. Dang it. Why does it always do that? All right. Check, check. No, I still don't have. Oh, yeah. I got you now. Okay. Sorry. All right. We're good.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay. All right. I was saying I think BMW becomes a serious title contender. I think that BMW more towards the end of the season last year in 2025. Holy cow, were they were just freaking on it on everything. They were firing it on all cylinders. They were challenging Porsche. They were was it the BMW team that was making a comeback at the end there where
Yes.
so
They climbed
they
themselves
could
back
have
in
mathematically they could have won the championship. I think they just came alive a little too early or late, sorry. It kind of like a Max Verstappen sort of deal with F1, but yeah, I think that BMW is really good this year. Cadillac, man, I don't know. I don't really know. Typically, when teams make big swings, man, like that, I mean, we all saw the car. The car is massively different. Um, I mean, it either goes like the most dominant car on the grid, for example, Braun in F1, or they're the worst team on the grid. Like, for example, Alpine in F1. Like, you know, Alpine was poised to be a front runner. What was it in 22, 23,
Yeah.
something like that? And was just absolute dog water. So I don't really know with Cadillac. I think Penske's still going to be strong regardless. Their sports car program or their prototype GTP program is just freaking bar none. Um, yeah, I think what I'm most excited for though is Acura. I really want to see. I really want to see Acura being a front runner. Every race. I think I don't know, man. I feel like last year was just kind of a weird year for Acura. Um, but yeah, I'm really pulling for Acura. I really want Acura to succeed. I'm gonna ride that wagon with the Acura train and honestly just kind of hope for the best there.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think Acura coming off the gate is going to be the team to beat. I think if anybody's going to
Really?
I think if there's going to be any team to compete with Penske off the rip, it's going to be Acura. Acura is the one car that hasn't made any major aero adjustments, underbody adjustments. They have no change in team, no change in engine performance. Everything from last year is the same. Penske's got new aero changes. Obviously, Cadillac does. BMW's got new team. Aston Martin's still trying to find their legs. I think at the beginning of the season, I think going into Daytona and Sebring, I think Acura is going to be the team to pick, the team to beat. Now, can they ride that momentum through the rest of the season? Because we saw last year, yes, they did get that win at Detroit, but that was kind of an outlier. They struggled really bad at Long Beach. They struggled really bad at Road America. They struggled really bad at Matul at the end of the season. There was a lot of races last year, and driver lineup wise could have been a little bit of an issue. I think coming off the beginning of the year, I think Acura is going to be the team to beat going into Daytona. But for the long stretch season, though, I feel like once Cadillac and Porsche figure out these new aero changes, it's going to be hard to beat Penske, dude. Penske looking for 3 consecutive titles. They're bringing back most of their driver lineups from last year. I just don't know. I feel like going into Daytona, Acura's going to be the team to beat, but you can't count out Cadillac with that Will and Action Express team and either of the Penske cars. I think when we're looking at that race at the end, around 22 hours in, final couple hours of the race, you're going to see those teams all surface to the lead. I'm curious about Aston Martin though. I feel like that's the one question mark, right? They're bringing back Roscoe and they're bringing back Roman DeAngelis. They're a single car operation. They're using a lot of the same tech that they had from the World Endurance Championship, which I think is going to benefit BMW this year. BMW, could they be a contender at the end of the season? I'm kind of on the side with you saying I would put more confidence in them being a title contender than not. So, can they kind of start the season with the momentum they ended last season with, especially using a lot of the same engineers and information that they have from the World Endurance side now that they're all kind of under one banner with the WRT team. It's gonna be interesting. I guess if you had to make a championship pick now, Tom, who takes the championship at GTD?
Oh man, jeez, that's a hard question, man. I mean, I really do believe BMW is going to be really good. I mean, Penske's Penske. I think a wild card with Aston Martin, it's just kind of weird. They've just been growing. It's not weird. They've just been growing. Acura is the weird one for me. I don't know. And Cadillac is such a big question mark with all those downforce adjustments that they made, like huge turnovers and or changes in the car. So I mean, I feel like the safe bet would just be to say Penske, but like BMW is there, man. God, that's a hard pick. I'm gonna say BMW, to dethrone Penske because what a year that could be to see the Penskes and the BMWs duking it out. But I mean, Penske's gonna be freaking hard to beat. But yeah, I'm gonna go with BMW. Yeah, I'm gonna go with BMW.
I like that. I like that pick. I'm my thought process on the way the season's going. I think Acura's going to jump to an early lead in the first couple rounds. Cadillac is going to have to figure out this downforce package. I don't think we'll figure out exactly how good that car is until we get to round 4. They're going to stay close enough in the points with a decent run at the Rolex and Sebring. I don't know about Long Beach. I feel like Long Beach might be their strength, actually. They might actually start picking up speed at Long Beach. But I think by the end of the year, we're going to look up Action Express going to be your champion. I think Penske's going to take a step back this year, and I think BMW is going to be right on the hills. Acura is going to start strong. I think by the end of the season, they're going to fade. So I would go Action Express, BMW, and then a really tight battle there between Acura and Penske there for the P3 spot. I think that's what my championship is looking like right now. So, because like you said, dude, if this Cadillac, if they figure it out, they're going to be probably damn near unbeatable by the end of the season.
Yeah,
they will be. If they don't figure it out, then I just make myself look like an idiot on this podcast, and they don't run well at all. But I'm gonna go on the side of they're gonna figure it out by the end of the season. They're gonna be damn near unbeatable, and it will be the Action Express team. That's the team I'm gonna pick. All right, let's go into pro. We talked about this with our bold predictions, but Vassar Sullivan in their final year with this Lexus car, this configuration, this package. They got Barnicoat and Hawksworth back together again, bringing the band back together for one last final hoorah on the farewell tour of this dog shit, overrated, just underdeveloped car that they're going to hang on to for one more year. I feel like they're going to be a threat on most weekends. If you're gonna go on a hoorah and try to get the most out of this car, they did a lot of experimental shit last year. We saw them mix up their driver lineups. They put Hawksworth down in the GTD Pro class or GTD class. They left Barnicoat up at the top class. I feel like they did a lot of experimenting. They were close to getting wins in both classes. Came up short in many depressing ways. If you remember Sebring, they had that race won until the windward took them out at the end there. They damn near won at Long Beach, and then they had a bad pit strategy that put them behind the 8 ball there. There was some races last year felt like there was a little bit to be deserved. Me and Tom, I think, what was our bold prediction? We claimed them to be our 2026 champions. I'm gonna take them to win the championship this year. I'm not gonna lie. If I know I'm jumping ahead here, and we probably should go talk about some of the other cars, but I'm taking Vassy as the champion this year. I love the combination of Barnicoat and Hawksworth. Barnicoat is one hell of a qualifier. Hawksworth is one of the best clutch drivers at an end of a race. That's the type of lineup you want. Somebody that's going to have the pace early, someone that's going to be able to close it out. I think that's the best lineup in IMSA right now, driver-wise. Obviously, we'll get to the Windward Racing guys here in a minute, but I'm going to take Vassy as my 2026 GTD Pro champion.
Their third driver, is it that spotter guy again? Or is he getting promoted?
No, he's going to be running in the number 12 in GTD this year. They're going to run Hawksworth at Daytona. Or no, Hawksworth. He's the full-time driver. No, they're going to be running Kirkwood again in that as a third driver at Rolex.
Yeah, so last year what did we see? We saw a strong Ferrari car. We saw who was it was Ferrari, wasn't it? It was Ferrari. It was Ford for a little bit. It was Mercedes, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
The other one that was
Corvette late at the
Corvette.
season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Sorry, my brain's not working. Um, yeah. So I think the Corvette team's going to be strong, right from the get go. Not having to hopefully deal with whoever's driving in the freaking BMW in the pro class. Good God.
Oh
Um,
man.
well, hopefully we get another cool T-shirt out of that. But I really hope that Vassie, like what Jay said, it's the final year with that Lexus, the absolute brick of a car. I think at what point do you just say, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just try this. Let's just, potentially did that all year last year, but now they got a list of things that they know won't work. So hopefully they can get a bunch of things that they know can work. Um, Ford, man, golly, did they absolutely dominate Daytona? Put me in my back seat, man. I'm talking all this crap about them. But then just kind of fell off for like the rest of the season, man. It was kind of just kind of weird, I guess. Um, yeah. Um, look, I'm gonna go with Ford again. I'm pretty sure about 2 or 3 years ago I said, man, if Ford can ever get their crap right, I'd follow them to the end. By golly, did I do that all year last year? Every freaking IMSA race and every freaking WEC race, I chose them. I chose them. So you know what? I'm just gonna hold true to my word. Um, but with my picks for the race weekends, but um, man, I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I am. Let's go Ford for the championship. All right. And the reason why I say that, man, they learned a lot last year about what worked with their car. They made a lot of good changes. I think this year they just come out swinging. Man, they come out swinging. With Vassie, man, I don't know with that car. To me, it's the question mark in the Pro and GTD class with that car. Um, I think Corvette's going to be pretty good too. Um, yeah, I'm just going to go. You know what? I'll just go with the American Giants with Ford and Corvette. I think those guys will probably be pretty strong.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people have been saying in the offseason that it's going to be a Corvette versus Ford battle for the championship. I'm curious to see because Ford's made a big tweaks to their underbody this year. They've got a lot of aero changes, really to help them on the long beaches, the Detroits, the VIRs, the shorter, more intricate tracks. Because that's where they really struggled last year. They were really bad at Sebring, really bad at Laguna, at Long Beach, at Detroit, and that makes up half your schedule. And if you're struggling at those tracks, you're really not going to have a chance to fight for the championship. They made the adjustments there. Will it hurt them at Daytona? I believe so. I think obviously going into Daytona, I would look at the Windward team as they've moved up to pro this year with Ellis and Ward running that banner program with the Mercedes. I think they're going to be obviously the favorites going into Daytona. Try to go 4 in a row at Daytona at the Rolex. It's an incredible feat. It'd be fun to see how they can do in a full season championship in the pro level. RRL moving down to run the McLaren program that PFAF had last year. PFAF moving over to Lamborghini. Lamborghini has really struggled in the sports car landscape as of late. We saw what they did with their prototype program, which is on back hold. Maybe going to be making an attempt in the Asian Le Mans series next year against the likes of Van Wall and Aizato Frashini with other failed, defunct prototype series or prototype projects. I'm curious to see what PFAF can do. They've been a stout contender at Daytona the last few years. They've had some interesting lineups. Obviously got wiped out in that early wreck last year at the beginning of the nighttime cycle when they saw that incredible wreck down into the S section. And then obviously you saw Kobayashi take off from there and have an incredible run. That's the most memorable part of that race last year, besides obviously the ending with what Tom was alluding to, the BMW Corvette battle, which hopefully that comes back around this year. It's going to be interesting. I feel like with the changes to Ford, I think they're going to be stout championship contenders. Obviously, I think them and maybe if you throw in the Corvette team, I think those are your two championship favorites. I'm sticking with Vassy just for the pure storyline and the cinema that will create. But then you can't count out BMW either. Do they make the mistakes that they made last year? There was so many races last year where they put themselves into positions to make mistakes. Strategy obviously went against them. And then obviously your dark horse with Windward Racing. They've been a staple in the endurance events. Will they be able to bounce back and do that again this year? And with the step up to pro, with the right driver lineup with Ellis and Ward, I think that's a good combination. It's gonna be interesting to see how pro plays out this year. Let's jump down to GTD. Windward obviously still running GTD with some newer drivers with a second car. They're looking for their third consecutive title in the GTD class. We'll see what they can do this year. Vassar Sullivan and Paul Miller Racing both went winless in 2025. Can they make a step forward this year? Obviously, the Lexus in a different scenario, not having the newer car. They're still running the older program. They're running Parker Thompson in that car. I'm not sure who the second driver is. I'll have to go take a look at that later. Can they win in 2025 or 2026? And then Paul Miller Motorsports, the BMW team, was a preseason favorite for the championship last year in pro, and they didn't score a single podium, didn't score a single win. An absolute devastating year there for them. Did they bounce back here in 2025, Tom? Do we see that team take a step forward and compete for a title here in 2026?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I hope
Yeah.
so, right? I mean, they've got all the
Yeah.
equipment. They're the main team with the BMW
Yeah.
camp. They're in GTD.
Yeah.
To have a second winless season would be an absolute disappointment.
It'd be a disaster. It would be. It's. I do want to talk about this Vassy Miller ordeal though, and I don't know if like I, I don't know that Vassy Miller team in the GTD class. That's and not winning a race last year. I feel like is an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster. Windward looking for 3 consecutive titles. Could easily win a 4th, I think. I think that team is pretty freaking solid. Um, and if I'm not mistaken, they were robbed of an award last year during the Daytona 24 for the team with the best comeback. Because weren't they like 2 laps down and then finished on the podium or something like that? Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Within like 10 hours left in the race. um, so, Jay, did you make your picks?
I have not made a championship pick. You could take over. You can go for it.
I'm going to take it because IMSA really screwed up last year with not giving Windward that award, and actually I'm kind of butthurt about it because that was absolute cinema for the GTD class, and we heard freaking nothing about it. It was kind of a joke, actually. So you know what? I'm going to go with Windward for winning the title. I think Vassy Miller. God, I keep forgetting that dude's name. What's his name?
Oh, Sullivan.
The spotter.
Parker Thompson. Parker Thompson.
No, yeah, Thompson.
Yeah.
I think they do win a race this year, and I think if it's anything, it's freaking Long Beach.
Yeah.
Wild card anybody can really realistically win there, given the circumstances that's happened in the past, and they're past winners of this race too. So, yeah, you know what? I'm just choosing those two as my top 2. I think I don't know if there's really a lot to look forward to potentially in that class other than Corvette. I think Corvette could be pretty fast. I think Ford can be pretty fast. I think their driver lineup's kind of, last time I looked at it, it's kind of crap, but anything can happen.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially with the new tire compound that they're running here in 2026, that's going to make a big difference. I think early on in the season, I do like Windward. I think they're going to be definitely your title favorite going into the season. They should be. They're looking for the third consecutive. New driver lineup, though, because they moved Ward and Ellis up to the pro class. I don't know how that's going to translate to their primary car, which is the GTD with the newer drivers. It's going to be interesting to see how they can work through it. But whenever you see a new tire compound or something new get introduced, you kind of got to stick with the teams that's consistent and run up front on a regular basis in the past year that be able to have the consistency going into the season. So we'll obviously look for Windward to start the season strong. But I think by the time we get to the end of this season, Tom, I'm taking the Paul Miller team to win the championship. I'm taking BMW. There's no way that they could have a second winless season, a second winless or second podiumless season. I just feel like once they figure out the new tire compound, they've got the driver lineup swapped around there to try and maybe find some more pace. They're a perennial power in the GT4 program. It just hasn't translated the last year into the GT3 program. I think this is the year that we see those BMWs back on top in the GTD class as champions in 2026. When it comes to LMP2, this is what I call the disaster class. This is the most pure cinema there is. They're running 7 races this season, so that's the least out of any of the other classes in the IMSA series. Obviously, stalwart teams like Hero Interpol with the 43 car, Dillman Racing with the 52, AO Racing with Spike the Magic Dragon. They're in the class as well with United, who had a great year going on early, but then they kind of threw it away at Road America when they put the thing in the wall, and it kind of put them behind the 8 ball to win the championship, and that's what allowed AO Racing to sneak in and win. They're the defending champs. Dane Cameron, 5-time IMSA champion behind the wheel there with PJ Hyatt in the number 99. All cars are the same. They're all running the Gibson engines with the Dallara chassis. It's a spec car for IMSA, which makes it more of a driver's type class and survival. We've seen that a lot, Tom. In most of these LP2 races the last couple of years, if you just survive, you're getting a podium. Like, you just have to not make mistakes. And they force the bronze driver to qualify and do the first stint, and then obviously the prime driver runs the last few stints into the end of the race. And if that's being said, I like PJ Hyatt as a qualifier. I like his consistency, and then when you put Dame Cameron behind the wheel, that car just turns up to another notch. I'm going AO Racing as champions in LMP2 this year. But I do see a step forward by United. I think United makes this championship very interesting. And I think Inter Europol as well is a great contender. But do they make the mistakes they've made the last few years? They put themselves behind the 8 ball. I remember last year at Daytona, they had a lot of mistakes that kind of put them out of contention to win that race. What was it last year at Daytona, Tom? Where you had like 6 different leaders at the end of that race, and they all found a way to mess it up or wreck. I guess your biggest dark horse would be that Sebastian Bourdais in the Tower Motorsports machine. I think obviously they're going to be the least pick to win a championship. They're going to be the biggest dark horse. But if they start the season like they did last year with the great runs they had at Daytona, and then they brought it to Sebring, I think they're going to be above the second half of the field. I think they'll be up in that top 5 battle for the championship by the end of the season. I don't really put a lot of stock in the Dillman team. I don't put a lot of stock at TDS. I think one of the 2 United cars is going to be behind the other one this year. So if I'm taking a champion, I'm going to go AO. I'm going to count Tower as my dark horse threat, Inter Europol, and one of the 2 United cars will be in that mix for the title at the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I think United. I think Tower. I don't really know about Europol. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think it's just that team might just be the most like the Ferrari of F1. Yeah, maybe that's a bad comparison, but maybe I've just right off the top of my head. Here's where I'm going to show the dark horses, though. I think Pratt Miller is going to be a dark horse, a strong dark horse. I think Brian Herta is going to be a strong dark horse, and I agree with Tower. Tower is going to be a great dark horse pick as well. That's the team I'm going to go with all year. Again, that's another screw up by IMSA. Completely stripped these guys of the win last year over BS circumstances. It still kind of pisses me off. I'm not going to lie. It's so stupid, so dumb. I mean, what kind of smooth brain activity was going on over there during that day, dude? I don't know. But with the veteran lineup that they have with Tower, with Sebastian Alvarez and John Ferrano, and then also Sebastian Bourdais. I mean, Bourdais is just an absolute animal behind the wheel. Proved it last year during the race, and so did his other teammates. I think that if Tower can really just hone in on a couple of just stupidly small things, they can really, really be a good contender for the season. Of course, they're going to have to overcome United and CrowdStrike. Oh, excuse me. And honestly, the two powerhouses of the series, I don't think I think those are pretty much unarguably the best two teams, in LMP2, but I think Tower can do it. I think Pratt Miller potentially used 25 as just like a hey, let's put the car on track, let's learn a couple things, let's go home. And now it's maybe well, I hope so. I hope it's more of a game on approach for this year. So I hope Pratt and Miller can we'll see a lot more of them in the LMP2 class. But my favorite, Jay, you chose United or did you chose CrowdStrike
I chose AO Racing with the
or AO?
to go back to back
That's
with
right.
Dayton Cameron. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I'm actually. I'm gonna go with the number 2 United uh for 26. I think that's strong dark horse with Tower. And then a wild card with Pratt and Miller. I think well, dude, you can't even predict this series. It's so
No,
disastrous. Like
it is.
sitting here trying to think and it's like, why am I trying to think, man? I need to just put on my smooth brain like IMSA and just go like this, you know? But yeah, those are my picks.
No, I like those picks, and I like the Pratt Miller pick as well because I feel like they're going to be a threat for the endurance championship. We've seen CrowdStrike kind of take that role as being the team for the endurance events, and that's what's got them locked into the 24-hour Le Mans last few years. I think that Pratt Miller this year, if they put their focus on these endurance events, which I think they've got the drivers for it, and I think that they've got a lot of development in these cars, I think that they're going to be able to compete for that endurance championship, maybe even have a chance to lock themselves into Le Mans next year, which would be an absolute win for the American people and getting more representation into Le Mans after they kind of told Penske to kick rocks and whatnot. So I would look to see Pratt Miller have a chance at doing that. You brought up a lot of good points with some of those picks, but again, it's IMSA. Daytona last year was probably the microcosm of the season. We saw 6 different leaders within the last 2 hours, and the team that crossed the checkered flag was the team that didn't even win. So it's like it's really hard to predict LMP2. I love LMP2. I think it's like the best, purest form of racing. Like honestly, if I had the money to start a race team tomorrow, I would just get right into the LMP2 program, and that would be what I would do because I think it's freaking awesome. The fact that you can bring in a pro driver and a bronze driver, pair them together, and you're running a spec car with a spec motor. You're running a different tire compound than all the other series. You have 7 premier events a year, so it's only 7 weekends away. You have a good amount of testing, and then you also have an opportunity to qualify yourself into Le Mans, which is another big accomplishment as well. And then also being able to run in an Asian Le Mans or European Le Mans. We see that with Euro Interpol, United, big staples all over the world in their LMP2 programs. I love LMP2 racing. I think I think they're some of the coolest looking cars on the track too. I love the look of them. We saw different manufacturers move out over the last year. Like Ligier tried to make a return, and that kind of flopped on its head, and we're down to just a one chassis program with the Dallara. I would love to see more incorporation with that in the future. But as it stands now, I think LMP2 racing is still at a great point. And plus, the best part about the LMP2 cars is the amount of downforce these cars generate. They are the fastest cars on any given track in the high-speed corners. It's truly amazing watching them pull away from the prototype, the GTP prototypes, when they fly through the high speed corners. You know, it's just and then they get ran down the straightaway, obviously. But it's so impressive to watch how they can kind of not mix it up with the GTPs too much, and to that extent, but still be able to have their own kind of identity. And also, it makes for some great entertaining TV. I think a lot of our memes last year came from the LMP2 classes and some of the drama we saw from there. But that's it. That's the IMSA season preview. We made all of our championship picks. We'll be making our Rolex 24 picks, I believe, not next Tuesday, because Roar for the 24 is next weekend, coming up, or this weekend, actually. Yes, this weekend is the Roar Before 24, and the next weekend is the Rolex 24. So we'll get the qualifying in this upcoming weekend. We'll make our picks on next Tuesday's podcast for the Rolex 24, and then we'll prepare you for a watch party for the Rolex 24. We're going to do the final couple hours like we did last year. It should be really super entertaining. We might Maybe do like a middle section. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but we're definitely going to be doing the final couple hours watch party for the Rolex 24. I'm so excited sports car racing's back, Tom. I freaking love sports car racing. I think it's the truest motorsport we have left on planet Earth, man. Like, we have so much brand identity, manufacturer identity, multi-class racing, tons of passing. It's like the best of both worlds, and a true championship. I mean, you have multiple championships. You have an endurance championship and a season-long championship, and then you also have tie-ins to the biggest events in the world as well with the 24-hour Le Mans, the Rolex 24. We have high car counts. What they turned 16 teams away this year from the Rolex 24 entry list because they didn't have enough spots on the grid.
Dang.
It's just
I didn't know that.
Absolutely insane how they have grown to such a point where now there's just not enough grid spots. We saw them drop LMP3 out of the Rolex 24. I have a feeling that LMP2 might get dropped in the next couple of years as well, just because of the amount of interest and global draw that event brings.
NASCAR can learn a thing or two.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. We're in a great era for sports car racing. It's only getting better. And then next year, obviously, we're getting McLaren. Is going to have a prototype car as well next year. So lots of big stuff. I'm excited to see.
Dang, I forgot about that too.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be wild, man. It's going to be wild. IMSA is on. And plus Ford. Ford's looking at getting a GTP program as well. So that's going to add two to 4 more cars to the grid in 2027. So we are in the golden era of sports car racing, and it's only going to get better this year. All right, Tom. We've talked about IMSA. We talked about the NASCAR playoff. The final thing we have on our docket here on this fantastic Tuesday, before we get into watch party action here, as we're still into qualifiers, I think they're just wrapping up now. But the final thing that we have to talk about tonight is the Chili Bowl. We came on last week, Tom. We talked about the entry list. We gave some of our predictions for some of the prelim nights. Now it is time. We've got our first 2 official lock-ins decided last night with Larson winning and the Briggs Danner taking the spot. We're still watching qualifiers and everything here tonight. It looks like Ryan Timms, maybe a Corbin Ruschenberg, Dennis Setzer. Some of these guys are looking really good in this prelim night so far. JJ Yaley's having a great run. I think he's one of the high points, man. Ty Gibbs having a good high points run tonight. It's going to be an interesting main event. We'll do the watch party with you guys here after this podcast. We'll probably take a short break before we get into it, but then we'll go for it. But we're going to make picks. By the way, Tom, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Hate to be the bearer of bad news for your favorite, but he is currently not going to be making this year's Chili Bowl. I should have mentioned that before we started.
Oh, shit.
He got sick in Australia when he went to go run the high limit race, and he has some type of illness, and they are subbing him out for this year's Chili Bowl.
Oh, shit.
I found that out yesterday, so don't worry. I would have picked.
Oh, wait, I haven't said his name yet. I'm still clear. Okay.
I would have picked him as well, so you would have been. You're fine. They just announced that yesterday, actually, last night during the prelim for Monday.
R.I.P. Kofoid.
R.I.P. Kofoid. That would have been a great pick. But when it gets to picks, this man's racing on Wednesday night, I believe. Which if you guys listen to last week's podcast, we told you Wednesday night. If you're gonna watch any night of prelims, Wednesday night is the night to watch. It's absolutely star-studded and packed with tons of talent. And the man on Wednesday that is going to win the prelim night, the man that, if they would have put enough damn gas in his car last year, he'd have out-qualified Larson. He would have started on the pole, and I think he could have beat Larson head-to-head. This dude is due. He came, 2 years ago, he came from the back of a D main and made the A main, and not only made the A main from a D main, he got all the way up to 4th in the A main. And if the track wouldn't have went away late in that race, he probably could have won the damn thing. Dason Pursley is due this year to win a Chili Bowl Nationals. I'm taking Dason Pursley to claim his first Golden Driller on the 40th anniversary, and it's going to be an absolute storytelling moment. Big fan of Dason Pursley. I think he's got a ton of talent, and I think Wednesday night, tomorrow night, he's the guy to beat, the guy to watch, and he's going to lock himself in with one of those 2 spots. And then from there, the pole shuffle, we'll see how it all shakes out from there. But I'm going Dason Pursley to win the Chili Bowl. All right, who's your pick to win the Chili Bowl? And then we'll jump into dark horses after.
Well, put me on. I got put on the spot there. Well, I mean, Jay's just looking out for a homie. You know what I mean? So, I'm probably just gonna take a pretty obvious pick here. But I'm just gonna go with Bell. He's already got the dirt track experience. He's pretty.
He won the
good
Race Champions last night too. He's on a roll.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he kicked ass last night.
Jeez, whatever. I'm so out of the loop right now, dude. I'm so out of the loop. So yeah, okay. Well, we got a little momentum going on here then. So I'm gonna go with Bell for my favorite. I mean, just because of the experience, the the previous races run. I mean, he's probably got one of the most, or probably some of the most experienced, one of the most. What am I trying to say here? One of the most experienced drivers. There we go at this racetrack. So, um, one of the more experienced drivers. So he's got a lot going for him. Yeah, I'm really disappointed that Kofoid decided to just wuss out with a little bit of stomach bug. Whatever.
Me too, man. That was gonna be my pick coming in this year. Him or Pursley for sure. Those are everybody's picks to
Yeah.
be a first time winner of the Chili Bowl, and it's unfortunate he's not there for sure.
Yep.
Alrighty. Now dark horses, man. There is so many good options for dark horses. There's one guy running tonight, Ruschenberg. He's in the 26 machine. He's one of the guys I'm looking as a dark horse to win this year's Chili Bowl. Dennis Setzer's also running tonight. He was another guy that we talked about last week on the podcast as a good dark horse. And then you get into some of these other nights. I mean, Corey Day, is he a dark horse? Kind of, because he hasn't really shown the pace and he doesn't run the midgets as much anymore. He's running tomorrow night. There's a lot of good picks. But when it comes down to a true dark horse, maybe it's some recency bias, but man, he's racing for Alex Bowman Racing, and they bring some damn good race cars. Last night, he showed a lot of maturity. Definitely was probably the third or fourth best car in that prelim night. At times, it looked like he had the best car. But last year, he took the lead in prelim night for about 2 seconds before he ended up toppling that thing over and ended his Chili Bowl early, going for the lead in the prelim night last year. He learned a lot from that, and he ended up settling with the P2. Now, with that P2 last night, yes, it locks him into the Chili Bowl A main. But now anything can happen in the pole shuffle. We saw Dason Pursley last year go from basically 10th all the way to 2nd in the pole shuffle last year, and that set him up to have a great Chili Bowl run. I think Briggs Danner's a guy that could put down a flying lap in a pole shuffle. He's a guy that could definitely get himself towards those top 2 rows, because if you're going to win Chili Bowl, you got to start top 3 rows. It is what it is. How hard it is to come from the back of the Chili Bowl to win. You've got to start in those top 6 positions. Briggs Danner's a guy I could see put himself in there. And I think he learned a lot racing with Larson last night. They're going to make adjustments to that race car. I think Briggs Danner is an absolute threat to win this year's Chili Bowl as a dark horse pick.
That's a lot more elaboration on a driver than I'm going to choose. You know what? I kind of feel like this is potentially a meme. I kind of was going to go with Ruschenberg, but I'm going to go with JJ Yaley. I'll tell you why. The dude has aura.
He does, man.
That haircut, man. That way he like spikes it up in the front and he's like strutting around like he's a 20-year-old, but he's walked the earth since the dinosaurs were around. You know what? There's just something to respect there. You know
You should have seen him yesterday, dude. He was during the Race of Champions hot laps and qualifying. He was down there wrenching on Sammy Swindell's car, and he had a trophy husband shirt on, dude. And he's down there making air pressure adjustments. Right. His hair's all spiked up and fluffed up. Like, dude, what a Chad, bro. What a Chad.
I gotta take a phone call real quick.
Yeah. So Tom's going with JJ Yaley, if you guys didn't catch the hint there, which is great pick, Tom. Great dark horse pick. He's running really good tonight. He just got through a qualifier. I think he went 6-3 in the qualifier, plus the points he got earlier for his heat race. That is a great dark horse pick. I think he's a threat to win tonight in this A main event prelim night. So I like that pick by Tom with JJ Yaley. That's a perfect pick. Alrighty, guys. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this podcast, the IMSA season preview, the NASCAR points discussion. I guess we kind of gave you some better ideas on how to do it, but we're moving in the right direction with the chase for the cup. And then also our Chili Bowl picks. So to recap, I've got Pursley, Dom's got Bell. Our dark horses, he's got Yaley, I got Briggs Danner. But there's also some other great dark horse picks to throw in there as well. We're going to end this stream, this podcast, and we're going to jump into a watch party for the Chili Bowl Nationals Tuesday prelim night. That might not start for maybe another 30 minutes or so. because after the qualifiers, which we're running into qualifier number 4 right now, they do a little bit of an intermission break there before we go into B mains. So we'll probably take like a 30-minute break. We'll come back and we'll start that live stream with you guys here on this YouTube channel, and that should be a lot of fun. Going through the Bs into the prelim A main. We'll find out who our next 2 lock-ins are, whether that be Tim's, who's having a great night, whether it be Beeson making that D run. Maybe he can get back up in there and get an A run main. Gavin Bichel's having a good night. Ruschenberg's having a good night. We'll see how all that plays out. But thank you guys so much for tuning into the podcast. If you guys want to follow us on all of our social media, stay up to date with everything we're doing on this channel, all those are on the bottom of your screen right now, as well as all of them have links in the description below. Also, if you want to join the best racing community on the internet, make sure you guys join our Discord. The link is in the description below. We post all the motorsports news, rumors, topics, memes, drama, whatever it may be with all motorsports around the world. I've been posting all the Chili Bowl information on there as well to keep you guys up to date with all the people that are in the prelim nights and the qualify or the heat race lineups, the qualifier lineups, the winners, all the news, everything coming out of Chili Bowl. I've been posting it right here on this channel as we are just super excited for this Chili Bowl event. Make sure you jump in there. You post your own stuff. We love when you guys post, as we see Ruschenberg throw an absolute bomb for P2. Holy cow, dude. That was a hell of a bomb. We'll get into this here in more in a minute, but join our Discord, post your own stuff in there. We interact with you every day. We saw Matt Yost, Dallas Seward in there earlier posting some fun ideas about the Tony Stewart, which we didn't talk about tonight. Tony Stewart making an attempt at the Daytona truck race this year. So we posted some fun stuff about that in there as well. Also, in a link to our merch store, get you some of the best Dega Boys merch. We got sweaters, we got hats, we got sweatpants, we got bumper stickers, coffee mugs, beanies, whatever it may be. Get swagged up with some damn Dega Boys swag, man. If you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. So that means you better do it too. You got to be a part of the trend, man. So join the Dega Boys team. All those proceeds help us make bigger and better content like this for you guys on YouTube. I guess that's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so to finish out this Chili Bowl prelim Tuesday night, as we're going to have some exciting racing, guys. I'm telling you, come join us, come chat with us in the chat, come hang out and enjoy some Chili Bowl action with us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all in the next one.